Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome indeed, as the commentators are saying, to what is definitely, I was going to start with probably, but no, to what is definitely the stupidest AI I have seen in a AAA video game ever. Let's talk about it. So, this is... just to lower the volume on my end. This is FC 26, formerly known as FIFA. And, well, I'm not much of a FIFA player, in case you couldn't tell. I don't really cover the game on the channel. I'm not one of those people that is going to spend tens of thousands of dollars each year for each iteration of the game in order to have some magical card in the Ultimate Team in order to, you know, progress to the next league this year before the next one starts or whatever. I don't know how it works, but that's generally what what my impression of avid FIFA enjoyers is like. No offense intended, of course, although from personal experience, whenever I've criticized this game in the past, the response was rather, shall we say, tribal. But at any rate, not what I'm here to talk about today, the aggressive microtransactions and problems that this game has. No, instead, I'm here to talk about the AI in my player mode. Now, the opponents are fine, they're good even. This is on legendary difficulty, just short of the hardest difficulty in the game, and I'm having fun with it. Well, most of the time. You see, the opponents, I will probably at one point refer to them as enemies, because, well, it's getting rather emotional at this point, but the opponents are fine. As you can see, they're dribbling around, they're doing their thing, I'm trying to help my team win, all is fine and well. That is until my teammates get a hold of the ball, and then I don't know what happens, some sort of Dr. Doofenshmirtz's cosmic ray of making people incredibly silly and stupid. Something like that. If you're not old enough to understand the references from a, well, not even that old cartoon, I would say, but, yeah. What happens when they grab the ball? When we have possession? Well, the AI will do approximately 2 passes and then just pass the ball to the opponent. And once you realise this is what's happening, the enjoyment of the game starts to plummet. Now, I first noticed this in the difficulty that is easier to this one, so in World Class difficulty. Because in World Class difficulty, for some reason, it is notorious for having this bug more so than the other difficulties. The average amount of, percentage-wise, possession that we had in the game was between 7 and 10%. Yes, on average, in 15 games that I've played, the AI managed to hold 10% of possession at the most. Meaning they would get the ball and then immediately pass it to the opposition. Now, why this is exactly happening is beyond me, but it is. And then on Legendary, which is supposed to be harder, the AI actually grows a brain a little bit, and no, my bad. And it's not that terrible. Around 30%, I want to say, is what the average here is. But what I'm noticing, and what's really making me not enjoy this, is just how differently my team plays compared to the AI. Now, I understand, on the one hand, there needs to be a certain challenge, and if my team can manage fine without me, then this isn't much of a my player mode, but at the same time, I don't necessarily like that. If we're doing a my player mode, I don't believe that your teammates, no matter what team you're playing for, it could be the Norwegian Eliteserien like the one you're seeing here, or it could be the Premier League for all I care, I don't think your teammates should be utterly useless. And they are. Now, first and foremost, I do want to say that initially I thought this was a me problem. The reason this was happening was because I was playing in a, well, honestly, one of the worst teams in the game. But that's part of the fun for me. I like starting out in really terrible teams and then clawing my way to the top. Just, you know, starting for Arsenal doesn't really have the same, I don't know, charm of it, I suppose, if you're starting off with a player that just graduated high school or something like that and barely knows how to kick a ball on the pitch. And the only reason I mention Arsenal, by the way, is it's sort of the default club for me in most of these games. Just well, it's a thing from way back when, right? The first team you would have in the Premier League is Arsenal because it starts with A. They used to be listed in alphabetical order, and that was sort of the default thing. But anyways, showing my age and the fact that I've played FIFA since the 90s aside, like I said, not much of a fan of this game in the sort of multiplayer competitive sense. Now, I pick it up occasionally every 2 or 3 years of it when it's on sale, and I'll get it just to play either my career mode as a manager or as a player, and boy oh boy is this year rough. Alright, let's see what they do. Yep, they'll just pass it to the opposition. I mean, that was a genuine attempt at a cross, but if you take a look at where that cross was going, yikes. Anyways, let's try this. No, never mind. And now that I've familiarized you with the problem, let's test this out, right? So, this game, yeah, forget about winning or losing. I'm not going to try and, you know, be everywhere, play 6 different positions at the same time, despite the game punishing me, which, by the way, the scoring system for your performance is, it has some interesting ideas about what a football player should do on the pitch, but more on that later, more in a different video or something, I suppose. But at any rate, let's get to it, right? Let's focus, let's play as a striker for the whatever this team is in Norway, and let's do what the computer wants me to do. So I'm supposed to play in the formation of this team off the shoulder of the last defender, more or less, so somewhere around here. And let's let the AI play. Oh, they've taken the ball. Never mind, they've passed it right back to them. Now, the opponents, again, as you can see, they're doing dribbles, they're doing shots, they've scored. Now, they can do all this, that's fine. Let's take a look at what my guys are doing. 1, 2, and into the opposition. 1, and into the opposition. Like I said, this gets a lot worse when you realise that's all they do all the time, and into the opposition. There you go, 2 passes again. Sometimes they'll get off 3 if it's if there's a really easy lane of passing that they need to go through, but no, that's not my job. I need to be way over here, so let's not go and play defense. You know, that all of that aside, and then there's this. I'm one of the tallest people on the team with the highest score for both physical strength, heading accuracy, power, jumping, everything. On friendly corners, this is where I sit. Or on friendly, when we concede a corner, this is where I stand. And then on the other end of the pitch, this is also where I stand when we're the ones taking the corner. That's the strategy of this team. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, the point of the video isn't to say that this is too hard or that it's bullshit or whatever. I won the previous fixture 6-1, right? Like, there are ways around this. There are definitely ways around this. You can... It's not unplayable, it's just that the AI is so bad that if you want to actually play this game in a semi-realistic sense and play just what you... God, that was one of the worst passes I've seen in my life. If you do want to play the game realistically and just want to focus to what your job is supposed to be as a striker, it's basically unplayable. Now, you might be asking yourself the question, well, how do we fix this juggernaut, if at all? I intend to show you. This is Kiriko Kiarika's, this is difficult to pronounce, give me a second, Kiarika's gameplay overhaul. I apologise for butchering the name. It is one of several gameplay overhaul mods available for FC26. Yes, those exist. And if you're playing manager careers, my player careers, or if you're just doing single-player tournaments, such as the World Cup series, stuff like that, it will change your life. Well, it'll change your game, but hopefully the added enjoyment of this mode will also benefit you personally as well. But I'm going to stop with the silly comments and get right to it. So what does it actually change? Well, a number of things, far too many for me to go into right now, but the TLDR of it is it makes the game a little bit more realistic, both in terms of the movement and in terms of the difficulty. Your players, as you can see here, are now able to actually do something, and the AI is, well, keeping up, more or less, relatively alright. You can now win headers. Your teammates will do moves like that, and then look at that, the double pass as well, and then they'll do pretty much the same thing the AI was doing up until a couple of minutes ago. And then they'll even give you a useful ball like this, and then you can hand it off, and okay, they make mistakes occasionally, but far more importantly than that, it doesn't just make the AI better, it fundamentally overhauls the way movement, challenges, tackling, and decision-making is handled by the game, to make it more human. Now, what does that mean? Well, the reaction time of the AI, both teammates and opponents, is no longer perfect. Now, there is some delay in their reaction. The time it takes for them to turn around, so for example, if they're going left and then suddenly they want to start going right, that's not as instant anymore, right? That now takes a little bit of inertia, takes a little bit of time. The best example I can think of off the top of my head, and I know it has nothing to do with sports or FIFA, but it's kind of the new movement system from Escape from Tarkov, right? Where there's a bunch of inertia and you don't exactly get to flip around left and right like a ragdoll. There is a little bit of weight behind your movement. And then on top of that, the game makes everything a little bit more realistic, so the AI will consider more reasonable and easier passes rather than some difficult through balls that they might be able to hit. Crossing is also, the way they come to the decision of whether they're going to cross or not has been tuned to be a little bit more lifelike. Player stats in terms of dribbles, accuracy, etc., has also been reduced. So I think I don't know if this is from this mod or from one of the other ones I was looking into, but one of the catchphrases I saw and one of these mods of this type, shall I say, was a game built for realism, not highlights. And you can definitely feel it, right? You can definitely feel it. It, at times, features almost like a love child between FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer, which I know to most hardcore fans of one of these two genres is going to be heresy. But, oh, what the hell was that? Oh, you can see his disappointment, but I am also playing for a semi-reasonable score of 1-0, although I will say the keeper is mighty strong still, and this is my first game as, or actually technically second game, as a new player that I've created just to showcase the mod, because unfortunately you do need a new game and a new career if you're going to showcase it. And there's another thing that I noticed, is the score. See, I'm at a comfortable 8.8, and I haven't scored 16 goals, which previously I had to do as a striker in the regular My Career mode. Here, it's a lot better and a lot more realistic. I have one assist, which came from a corner, and then that's about it. Not much else from me in terms of the goal scoring. Now that was a bit easy to get that ball back in. Let's fire off a shot. That was straight at the keeper. That was not going to beat him anytime soon. But at the same time, slightly more realistic scores. Oh, that's a shame. And there you go. Now, ultimately, I did install this mod for longer trajectory lines because I really like it. And is it cheating? Yes. Do I particularly care? No, not really. Oh my god, that was freaking awesome. Blocked. Blocked my cross, he did. Alright, let's try and chip it in like this. That was pretty awesome as well, not gonna lie. Those extra added lines make things a little bit more fun. Because you can see exactly where the ball is gonna go. Well, more or less. Fascinating, and yes, they work for free kicks as well, which you might argue is a bit overpowered, but that's the point of modding, isn't it? Make things a little bit more interesting on ourselves, and another goal. Now, obviously, this is significantly easier than the previous bit of gameplay that I showed you. You can tune it, though. This is the playable version. There is a tactical version. If you want to simulate your games, then there's a special version for that, which is entirely different in terms of what it actually overhauls, because it's focused around the simulation mode. But if you want to actually play, then the playable version changes different things, of course, and it's freaking awesome, like I said. You can change the difficulty. This, I believe, is on World Class. Now, you can't change the sliders. I mean, you could, but potentially it will ruin some of the mod features, so be careful with that. But increasing or decreasing the difficulty is an option, and you can do it to your heart's content. Like I said, I've set it up a little bit more easily, so I can sort of get a feel for how the game plays, and then if needed, I'll kick it up to, what was it? Legendary is the higher skill level, or maybe I'm down by one from what I think. It doesn't really matter at this point. Either way, it's very interesting, and I am not gonna lie, I'm kind of shocked that mods like this exist, because oh god, that's terrible. Thankfully he missed. That was pretty terrible. I'm kind of shocked that mods like this exist, because FC isn't the most mod-friendly game out there, although it does have some modding tools available. It has not a large, but a healthy community of mod makers, I would say. Now, a good chunk of the mods that look really particularly awesome are locked behind Patreon paywalls, or some other type of donations, but this one I found on Nexus Mods it's completely free, and it works with the latest version of the game. Although I think it says it doesn't, because it's made for an older version, which was like the patch from, I don't know, I want to say like a week ago or something. Maybe a bit more, but it works fine with the newest version as well. And that's about it. My character's getting pretty exhausted, so I reckon I'm going to ask for a sub soon, but yeah, there you go. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you fix it. Initially, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't planning on making a part 2 of the problem. I wanted to just, well, as terrible as it sounds, I just wanted to complain about the terrible AI, but then I realized, why not add a little bit more value to this video, show people how to fix the problem, and it took a bit of a while, sorry, to find the solution, because, like I said, not a big FIFA enjoyer, I would say, and on top of that, I know nothing about modding FIFA, so I had to learn all of that, and at the end of the day, it's actually pretty simple. It's not all that difficult to do. That was extremely lucky, but this is a half-a-star team we're playing up against in the Chinese league, so I don't expect them to do particularly amazing either. Anyways, I'm going to go and increase the difficulty a little bit, but case in point was just to show you how movement is different, how the AI behaves differently, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye.